Alright, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Samak. Before I do anything, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. And with that, this is Brother Samak again, coming at you with another lesson, Lord will. This is edifying. So, real quick, this is, I'm not sure what I'm going to call this, but it's just something that happened on Saturday, a camp. Man, this guy, came to us and everything, and he is the perfect representation of what Jake is today, man. Because Jake, aka you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you act like you know things, and you're non-agreeable. You're you just want to go off of your own way. You don't want to humble yourself, and especially you gotta humble yourself, man. Especially when it comes to the scriptures, because that pride and stuff like that in our people, man, it really does mess our people up, and especially this guy, man, because he wasn't listening. We was trying to tell him something, but then he automatically has something to say, and that's not good, right? But before I get into this, real quick, let me get a couple of scriptures before I start. Hold up. Alright. Just wanted to get into the blue letter. Okay, get that out. This says, this is real quick, straight to the point, Galatians chapter 6 and verse 3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work. Because here it is, he was just talking out of his ass, man. A lot of Jake just talk out of their ass and they don't show any proof. Because here it is, he's saying slavery didn't happen. What evidence do you have to prove slavery didn't happen? Because we have proof, And again, it's just Jake, man. They really think that that pride, man, it really gets to them, And it says, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in others. But yeah, because it's just like, you got to do it for yourself. And the brother's about to get into it, but that being said, he was being like argumentative and coming back and forth. Don't get me wrong, there was times where, he was quiet, but a lot of the times he was just talking, and we're trying to explain the thing to him, Real quick. There you go. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to what? To hear, than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil. Right. This is the thing, man. We're out there for a reason. We're out there to get you right. Because clearly you're not right. Okay? Jake has no clue on what's coming. This guy himself said was shocked because he don't look at the news, man. He said, "What World War? What Russia? Yes, man. You don't know about Russia? You know, you don't know about them about to send nukes and these missiles and everything like that. That's we going into World War III. He's talking about World War III. We going to World War III. He don't know about that, man. And that shows how majority of Jake is gonna hit them like a thief, man. If you don't know about what's going on, you're not gonna make it, man. You may as well just keep living and keep doing what you're doing, whatever. Just like it's sad, man. That's what Jake was doing, man. Just getting distracted off of all these different things. It's like sad, man. But yeah. So again, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So yeah, man, you gotta listen, because you can't listen and talk at the same time. You're not gonna comprehend the things that you should be comprehending if you're talking. So just wait and be patient. Jake isn't patient, man. You know? That's why it's like it was kind of a headache to deal with this guy a little bit. He was a good guy, you know, he was sincere, but it was just hard because he was going back and forth, and it seemed kind of like he was emotional, you know? And that's majority of Jake. And this guy is a old head, man. He's about like in his mid 50s, maybe late 50s, you know. So it's like, come on, man. I know you could do better, man. But without further ado, we're gonna go through this and make a couple points, and Lord will, this is edifying. Here we go. Turn this up.
Give me one.
The only reason why I said that you're coming off like a scorner is because you seem sincere, but
I am sincere. I'm trying to get with you, brother. I'm trying to understand this shit.
But
y'all keep on doing it.
And then he had the nerve to disrespect, what we do and call it shit. I personally don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's like, what do you mean by that? This is what you consider to be shit? I don't care if it's slang or whatever. Nah, man. We don't do that here. You gotta have respect. Just like going into somebody's house. Again, keep thy foot when thou comest to the house of the Lord. Okay? Just like going into somebody's house, what do? It's manners. You take off your shoes. You don't leave your shoes on in the house. You take your shoes off, man. Walking around with your shoes on, man. You better take your shoes off. Okay? And Jake don't have, no manners, man.
If you really think it's slaves, milk women,
try to come off as sincere, but they cause a lot of confusions. So you dancing around, but you're not. Your spirit is not clicking with what we speaking about.
As y'all throwing me through loose, bro. You really can't make me believe or have me believe a slave built the man.
See, we're not. Look, man. This is another thing what people don't understand. We're not here to entertain you. We're not here to man, well, I think we said this at the end of the camp, as far as what Elder Apostle Tahar said, man. We're not entertainites, man. We're not entertainiolites, man. Okay? We're not here to entertain you. Either you get on board or keep it pushing. That's it. We're not here to make you believe. Either it's going to resonate with you or not. Okay? The scriptures say, what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Let God be true, but every man a liar. Fuck what you said, respectfully. Excuse my French, but it's like you ain't, like you're not anybody special. Nobody here is special. We're not even saying that we're special, okay? We're here trying to do the same thing, do the same work, okay? So, you ain't anybody important, you know what I mean? We're out here trying to find the elect, man. And if it don't resonate with you, kick rocks.
America, first of all, then on top of that, a slave built the pyramid that's still standing today.
Hey, look, the thing is, look, no, hold up, y'all, hold up. The thing is, look, right, you have to do reading on your own when it comes to the scriptures. Because everything that we gonna come out with, you don't know about it.
Right.
So then you know what I'm saying?
I get that, I get
all
that.
these different things.
No,
We
just
can't
the
do
simple
that.
thing.
Yeah, it's some things that you have to. It Revelations point when it said, "Blessed you gotta read it." Baba Bashar. Because some things you have to
Brother,
learn on
Mr.
your own.
Hussein, how you doing, brother?
Go ahead, bring that out. Give me a second. I got it.
I'm a scoffer.
Revelation 1 and 3.
He just heard I'm a scoffer, so he just like, this nigga.
They that hear the words of this prophecy.
The scriptures say, "Blessed he that readeth." Some things that you will understand a lot more if you read the scriptures. So that's why every little thing that comes out of our mouth is blowing your mind. Like, what? Oh hell no!
It's not even as far as the scriptures. It's
Yeah,
from
but look.
from this guy right here, really calling me a scoffer.
The whole purpose of
And I'm trying to learn some stuff, and then on top of that, the slaves built the pyramid, and the slaves built America.
Look, that shit is irrelevant. We here to prophesy. That ain't gonna save nobody.
You're right.
So it's really pointless. That's what we're trying to tell you. That's why he was going back to telling you, be quiet and just listen. Because look, you taking us down muddy waters where it's like it's no need to even go there. You was cool, and then it's getting a little hectic because you're not listening. The thing is, look,
And that's a Salakia. That's another thing too, because here it is. He's asking the question, right? He's asking the question, and we then try to answer it, and he all just walking away, and then you know, he not paying attention, man. You know, he's all distracted, looking everywhere. If this was important to you, you know, you would treat it with respect and actually listen. But clearly, by the way he was acting, he didn't seem as if he even cared about it. You know? He just seemed like it was just another day. That's it, man. That's it. Another day in the neighborhood. You know? That's Jake for you.
you can ask questions, but the thing is, you have to do on your own some reading to understand this book. Because everything that comes that we bring out, they're going to be
As with any learner.
That's what I'm saying. So
As with any learner. You're correct. You're correct. I agree.
Bring that back.
Revelation 1 and 3.
Because it would click through.
I agree. I agree with that.
Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right, so blessed he that readeth. You know, now you have some sort of idea to understand what the scriptures are talking about. Like us going into the history, we can't write down the whole history to you. Some things you gotta know. You could Google some things. With an Israelite. What I gave you was the solid foundation. If we realize that we're the Israelites, then we.
In other words, do your due diligence, man. If you really are about this, if you really want to be close to the Most High, and you really mean what you say when it comes to trying to learn this, you would do it for yourself instead of asking brothers to go in depth with certain things, because you know these things you gotta want to get it for yourself. And this guy, you know, he's asking so many different questions, like, and that's when I, you know, Lord, will I get to it, but that's when I told him, like, a lot of the things that he's asking, it's just, if we give him the answer to a certain thing, And this has happened because we then started going into the chariots, and we started going into different things. And I said to him, like, we're getting off topic. We should really be focusing on the milk, okay? Because a lot of these things that, you know, he was asking, it wasn't meant to be needed at that specific time. And I was basically saying the fact that certain questions aren't meant to be answered at that certain time, because you shouldn't, you know, you're a baby, man. A baby doesn't eat steak, you know, right out the womb. No. You should feed the baby milk, okay? And he didn't even get that. So I had to talk to him not on a spiritual level, but I had to talk to him on a carnal level. And you'll end up saying, Lord, well, but it's just like, it's sad, man, because Jake is all messed up, man. Because when it comes down to it, I was gonna say, yeah, when the scriptures say that they are spiritually dead, it is true. They are spiritually dead, man. Because they don't know the Most High, man. They don't even consider. The scriptures talk about they don't even consider these things, man. You know, trying to come back to the Lord, man. Here it is. This guy, he don't believe in anything. You know, he just believe in himself. That's it. You know, Jake is lost, and he is the perfect example of Jake just being completely lost. He was coming back at us, trying to come at us because we was telling him that slaves built the pyramids. Slaves built America. And he didn't even believe that. He said, you think slaves were smart enough to build? You don't have to be smart to build a pyramid, man. Like, you kidding me? You don't need to be smart to build a pyramid. You don't need to be high IQ to build a pyramid. Like, it's crazy.
We read the book, we understand the different accounts of the timeline of us being Israelites, even before, because it's through a seed line. We understand that happened to those people in the book. That was us. So I can't go into every little thing that I tried to hit you with. We have holy days. We don't worship pagan holidays. We got holy days. If you could Google holy days of the Bible, those are our days. So
that's what it's saying. He's going, you know, no need to be going into certain things because it's gonna trip you up. You're gonna be so, you know, misconfuzzled and everything like that, or whatever. I should say, yeah, so confuzzled everything, and you gonna end up losing out on the important things, which is the milk. Knowing who you are. What is your purpose? Why are you here? What happened to you? Discontinue from your heritage, all this stuff, man. That's what we need to be talking about. But you keep wanting to go off track and try to attack a certain thing that a person said. Nah, he got it. No, just listen. Listen. And we was telling him that if you listen, more than likely, you don't even have to, a lot of times you don't even have to ask the question. It'll be answered already without you even asking the question a lot of the times. And that's through the Spirit.
Here you go right there, because remember, this was our culture. This is who we are. This is who we truly are. We forgot this. Now we getting it back. So read that. Which one? Yeah. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Matter of fact, go to Baruch 4. Go to Baruch 4. And start at like 5. Start at like 5. Let's bring it back here.
No, I don't want to be no scoffer, bro.
Nah. You alright, but you gotta, you know.
I'm trying to listen.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. So the only reason why I said what I said is because we're trying to establish order. If you keep asking questions, you're going to come off as a scoffer and scorner, because scoffers and scorners do that to cause confusion. I'm not saying you are. Confusion will tell. We definitely be able to tell you not in order. Don't allow us to deal decently with the scriptures. That's it.
This is Sirach, chapter 11, verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first, then reprove. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause. Neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk.
Hey, what's up?
You know,
It is, man.
even though you can have questions, your questions could be to rebuttal what I just said. It's not. Sometimes you have questions because you're listening, and sometimes you have questions because you want to rebuttal what I just said. That's why the brother said examine.
Sometimes you got questions because you want to learn. It's like what I'm saying is wrong. And I didn't cut nobody off. I didn't ask no questions.
But some things that you have to read on your own, we can't sit here and make you a believer. That's up to the Most High. If the Lord put in your mind for you to believe, then you possibly have wanted to go for elect. But we can't do that. You have to read. It has to be in you. Right?
It's Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil.
Now I'm a fool.
See?
You said it. You're making it you.
I ain't even
Right there. That is a feminine thing that he just did. He took that, out of all the things that that we read, he just took that part and said, "Oh, so I'm a fool." That's a feminine thing to do. That is the most feminine thing to do, and that's Jake, man. They don't want to be told the truth, man. They don't want to be all that was dropping jewels. They were dropping jewels, man. These are wise words, especially the one that the other brother did when it said listen first and then rebuke. You know, you gotta listen, examine what's going on. You know, so figure out what the heck he's saying, and if it's right, then shut up. If it's not, then tell us why it's not, and we'll fix it. Not fix it, but we'll tell you why it's right, because this is right no matter what. The Bible is the way. This truth is the way, okay? Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is the way, okay?
I didn't even speak after I read that.
Now, you're saying it's a sacrifice of fools. That's what you're doing. Right, get the next verse, brother.
It says, verse 2.
It said be more ready to hear.
I'm listening, bro.
But you only grab the food part. What about the ear part?
I just read that. Read it again. Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High. The house of the Most High, we have in church right now. This is what this is. It says church. Yes. It says church means the calling out, gathering. This is what we're doing. It says, and be.
I'm in church right now.
Yes. So it says, and be more ready to hear. Look what the scriptures say. Now, if you start talking and not ready to hear, you're going against the scripture.
Nah, I'm listening, bro. I'm ready to hear.
Then to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So doing all that is like an evil thing. You don't want to do that. Verse 2.
I don't want to do no evil, bro.
All right. And then
Not in church.
this other one, Proverbs 18 and 13, is a precept to him. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. You gotta that's what we really telling you. Like, listen, because your questions is going to get answered. Like, focus on like the basic stuff, and then we're gonna go down to all this other stuff. Focus on the basics. We told you the Lord is a so-called black man. Told you about the chariots. Told you about the Israelites. That's the basic. Build a house. You gotta build a foundation first. Then you go off for that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta listen, bro, in order to get it.
Yeah, but read our verse 2 when Ecclesiastes.
Yep. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few.
Be few.
And we all had to learn that.
I don't know.
Which gives us what? Which turns us into disciples, giving us discipline to learn properly.
And Salakia, that's another thing. We all have been through it. We all and I can say me I'm gonna say me first and foremost. When it comes to shutting up, I know how to shut up. I know how to, you know, I can say my patience is very, well, let me say it right. I'll say my patience is good. I have high patience for a lot of things. I'm patient when it comes to a lot of things. And that came through time as far as being in this truth and also, yeah, other things. I'll just say that. But call Allah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, you know, for that, man. You know? So we're not out here, you know, saying things that we don't do. Because even the scriptures even say, what? Get the mote that is in your eye before you start to say what's in this person's eye. We wouldn't be able to be even preaching if we didn't do these sort of things that we're talking about, man. You know? So best believe we have been through that. Keyword, been through that. So we can confidently say, at least me, I'll say it too. I'll say me, right? I can confidently say my patience and everything is good. I'm here to listen. I'm not going to put no emotion into anything like that and to react in that way and be like, but what about? No, man, forget that. You know? But Jake, it's a lot of Jake, man. You so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans that can't just sit there and just listen. You know? Because you will learn something. I'm not saying you might. No, you will learn something. You will. More than what you way more 20, 10, 100 times more than what you would learn in the so-called Christian church, man.
Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures.
Like, can I ask all y'all something? If I was to become a Hebrew Israelite, like if I was to join what y'all call GMS, if I was to become a GMS member, what would I be doing right now if I was to decide right now, like I want to be with you guys? What would I have to do?
You would have to stand on the side and learn.
Huh?
You would have to, like I told you, blessed be that readeth. You would have to take up your own burden. You would have to, if you have faith.
So I'll have to study this on my own.
No, you will be taught by watching videos and coming out to the camp. But the thing is, it would have to be in you for you to learn.
This camp.
This is camp. They call this camp.
Church.
It's church.
Same camp.
Church camp. Oh, I mean, I don't want to get into semantics, bro.
That's a little
But
stuff.
damn,
It's
I mean,
not
if he just said church, then you just said camp.
Complicated.
You know, it's gonna know me.
You know what church means?
Huh?
You know what church means?
That's why I told you, it's gathered.
The parishioners go in and
You
worship.
can say car, you can say vehicle, you can say my whip, you can say whole
Nah, the building with, I mean, church to me is the building
So forget about the stuff you
parishioners go
learn.
and praise the Lord.
Forget about how you learn stuff. You got humble. So forget about what you was taught in the world, and you come in and learn. And now
And see,
like a little
this is how you know he's on a low level. And then he's on a low level. And yet he's trying to, like, be as if he knows something. And that's majority of Jake. And mind you, he is a older guy. And the thing is about older guys, what we was getting into too, was they get stuck in their ways. So they think that they know everything. But they don't. Age doesn't mean anything. There's some guys out there that are older, like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and really haven't even done anything, and it's like they wasted their time doing whatever it is they did, and they don't really know anything, you know. So yeah, it don't matter. Age is just a number.
a little kid. A little kid don't act like they know everything, and they start growing and learning. So it's the same thing.
Alright, let's say this though, right? Alright, you're older man, right? So you already know, like growing up, you know that there's been lies in the earth, right?
Hold it down.
Salakia. Let me get to this point real quick.
You know? Think about time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except you be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me.
So when you come in as a little child, meaning that a child pretty much is like a sponge. They pretty much learn and soak up things, and that's how they learn and grow. But pretty much you being an older gentleman, you have to be in such a way, and you have to have, and pretty much you gotta have the integrity, pretty much to humble yourself to the scriptures, man.
I mean, I'm trying to listen to y'all, bro. I'm trying to stay quiet, listen to what y'all talking about.
In general, because you have to come in, like
Here we go. This is it.
we was talking about as far as like you having questions that you're not answering. Sometimes questions are not meant to be answered because it's just gonna mess you up in general. Because you have to come in like the brothers are saying as a babe, right? As a babe, you don't feed. Listen, are you listening, brother? All right.
At this point right here, he was jumping to conclusion. This is what a lot of Jake do. And I can admit that I could have worded it differently. But he then ate his own words by me continuously to explain, because Jake just likes to jump to conclusion, you know? He's fighting and it's like, yo, just listen to me. Just listen. And it's because the scriptures say we speak what we know, you know? We're not out there for just no. We're not just some, unlearned. No, we're not unlearned. We study this. We do this. We live this. Okay? And this guy is just jumping to conclusion. Let's keep going.
Listen, brother.
Hey, I know whatever the love did
Right.
man.
All right, listen. Would you feed a baby? Would you feed a baby? Right. You gotta listen.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yes. Sometimes. Yes. Sometimes.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yes.
Some
Sometimes.
questions are made not to be answered.
Yes. Be at that specific time. Listen. Would you give a baby a steak? No. Right? All right then. That's what I'm saying. Eventually he will what? Eventually that baby will soon grow to where he can be able to eat the steak. So right now we're trying to give you.
And how do you know when he's ready to eat a steak?
When he grows teeth. Right. So right now we're trying to feed you milk, and a lot of times when you try to ask a question, it throws everything off. So real quick.
I'm just listening.
Right, I'm glad. This is Hebrews chapter 5, verse 13. It says, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Be strong, it says, but strong meat belongs to them that are of full age. So right now you are at a low level, everything like that.
Yeah, I'm a babe.
Right. So it says, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So we're on the level of understanding of we can, first, you know what I'm saying, in this right now we're trying to feed you the milk. So it's,
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate everything y'all giving me.
I'm gonna say, because you're like this. I'm saying, because when I was trying to explain myself,
Bro, I'm not fighting against none of y'all, bro.
because what just happened just now, when I was trying to
You
explain,
call me a
when I was trying to
You said
explain,
something about questions are not
right,
meant to be
you
answered.
understand it though? Right? You understand what I was saying?
No,
Can you feed a baby a steak?
Oh, yeah, I understand that part. Yeah,
All right.
but the part I don't understand is
The meat.
All questions are not made to be answered.
At a specific time.
That's not true,
At a
bro.
specific time.
That's not true.
So you okay? So you're a kid, right? Would you talk to a 5-year-old about sex? No. Let's be honest, brother.
My daughter's 5.
See?
Exactly.
No,
Right then and there. As far as that, like, he ate his own words. You know what I mean? Like, and this too, I could say, this is why I could say, as far as being patient, you know what I mean? Being patient with Jake, you know, you can't really, and even War, which is on the I'll say my left while looking at the screen, but really on my right. So he's on my right as far as out there. He said that he don't understand it, and he's right. He doesn't understand it. He thinks that he understands, but he doesn't understand. A baby, when it grows up and has teeth, that's when it's able to eat the steak. Right now, he doesn't have the teeth. So it's pointless to try to give him the answer or get him into something that he ain't even ready for. So he's saying that he was ready, but he wasn't, because clearly he didn't even understand what I was saying when it comes to questions are not meant to be answered at a certain time or a specific time. And then the brother's gonna bring out Ecclesiastes 3, where it says, for every there's for everything there's a time and a purpose for under heaven. Roughly paraphrasing, there's a time and a purpose for everything under the heaven. You know, so the time for you is to, you know, learn about who you are, your heritage, coming back to your heritage and everything, man. Knowing the name of the Lord, realizing he's not a so-called white man, but he's actually a so-called black man. These certain things is what you should be focused on. But you asking all these different questions, and it's like, why are you asking all these? You know, I understand, and this is the thing, it's the zeal. I understand, you know, but we have to stick to the program, stick to what we do as far as like the brother brought out too, let all things be done in decency and in order, man. So it's order, okay? We ain't gonna go one place and we ain't gonna go to 1 minute we talk about slavery, then the next we just end up talking about the chariots over here, but we ain't even finished over in this area. You know, no. We have to take our time with a certain thing. This is class. This is school, man. And you need to hear this, you know? So there's a structure to it. But again, at this specific moment, I realized that we can't really be talking to Jake like we do to each other, you know what I mean? Because not a lot of us are on that level to where we can quickly understand. Is there people out there that can get this? Yeah, of course, you know? But I'll say this, that the way that I said it had him tripped up. And I can admit, you know, when it comes down to it, like I my explaining isn't really as good as it should be, you know, but I can say I did handle that pretty well. Tawada, hey, call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai through the spirit, you know. So let's keep it going.
I had to think about it, but then my daughter talk about everything.
Okay, so
But that right there, nah, not
the
yet.
hypocrisy is real, man. What's up? Come on, brother. No, I'm saying. See, right, now do you understand?
I
You
get it.
understand what I'm saying? Sometimes some questions are not meant to be answered at that time. At that time.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 1.
We're supposed to answer everything to the best of our ability through the scriptures. So what he's saying is on point, right? It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to...
So is a time and a purpose, man. So, no, we ain't trying to, we're not just doing this, just, going here, going there, and it's no structure to it, And Jake, man, they just so, and he really does remind me. I was talking to brothers and I was saying, it's on a spiritual level. He's literally like a baby, because it's like, as a kid, as a kid or a baby, the baby will have a little bit of this, not even finish this, but then go to the other stuff and try to eat this, and then not even finish the food, not even try the vegetables, which is good for you. That's Jake right there. That was him in particular. That baby that didn't want to finish his food. This is food. This is spiritual, man. Yeah, they're not ready, and that's why I brought out the scripture where it says, matter of fact, let me get that scripture. What's that? John. I think it's John 3 something. There you go. It says, verily, this is John chapter 3, verse 11. It says, verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. Right? So we speak what we know, man. Okay? We're not just talking out of our ass, man. We have seen these things. We believe it. We've gone through these certain things. Like everything. So if I'm telling you something, I'm not telling you just to tell you. I'm telling you because I have been through it. I myself can say that I overcame my flesh, and I'm following after the spirit. Of course, at the same time, you're gonna have times where you're gonna have trouble, but you stick to the script and you stay in the spirit, man. It says, if I told you earthly things and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? So it's like, here it is, I'm trying to be spiritual with you, and you don't get it. What makes you think like I realized that at that point. So he is on a carnal level. So it's no point of even trying to talk to him in a spiritual aspect, because he was stumbling on that. He didn't even understand the baby and the steak and everything like that. So we go into something like meat, like reincarnation. He's gonna be tripped up and be like, man, nah, I get no. You gotta take it one step at a time, and you can't just shove food down a baby's throat, man. Okay, it's just not. It's not gonna work like that. You gotta be patient. That is what also I have to learn. When it comes down to certain things, I speak for myself first and foremost, but yeah, man. When it comes down to it, Jake, man, is all messed up, and we're in need of a savior, because our people, and he is a perfect example of how our people are. They are spiritually dead. Okay, the scriptures say, "He that wandereth out of the way of understanding remaineth in the congregation of the dead." So it's like, you really, like, our people really are dead spiritually. They need to come back to this truth, man. So yeah, so with that, I pray that you've been edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. And with that, I say, Shalom.